Welcome to week 4 of the 2024 Carl Albert Titan Coaches Show. Today we have Coach Dunn again, and Coach Dunn, this last week, a week ago today, we were sitting here, we were in preparation and planning, talking about being locked in. I think it proved itself. So give us a little rundown of what happened to Stillwater.
Kids were locked in. They were dialed in. And I think I told you afterwards that our Monday and Tuesday practice wasn't our best practices of the year.
Right.
And Wednesday we put it together, had a much better practice, felt a lot better afterwards about where we were at. But I think we were, we really put our kids through the ringer last week. I mean, we had hard practices. They were physical practices, and obviously everybody was turned up. Coaches, kids, everybody was turned up another notch for that game. Everybody kind of had that game circled, and everybody knew what that game was going to be like, and our kids went out and performed. I don't get impressed by everything our kids do because they do a lot, and I've
Right.
seen them do a lot, and I know what kind of talent they have. I know what kind of team we could be, and I've seen our teams in the past, so there's not a lot that impresses me, but the way that they went out and played, even I was, just by the results and how that whole game went, I was just very, very, very impressed with just the overall effort. When you can get all three of your phases playing like all three of our phases did, and then just with the effort they played with, and everybody playing off of each other. I told one of the reporters after the game that at Carl Albert, we really don't have just an offense or just a defense or just special teams. We don't have guys that specialize. Our kids learn positions on both sides of the ball. Our kids play both sides of the ball. Our defensive starters wear black practice jerseys during practice, and if you look out there during kickoff or punt, it's all of our black shirts. In a lot of places they don't want to put their starters out on special teams, and that's just not how we do things. I don't know if we're just old school or what it is, but Coach Rose, he kind of laid that blueprint a long time ago, and that's kind of how it was when I played here, and everywhere I've gone, that's the mentality that I've always had. And then, I just think that it all showed and paid off the other night with the way that everybody just played off of each other.
All right, so, last week it was 1, 2, 3, score. The defense came out, they did their job. So the defense hasn't been scored on yet in this entire season. And I remember sitting here last week, and Caden Davis had said, we know we're going to face some adversity, but honestly, in that first half, there seemed to be no real adversity. So the defense has done their job, and is really, how do you keep them in that focused mindset when it seems like everything seems to be just working the way that it was designed?
Right. Well, it was easy for us as coaches to point back to the week before when Stillwater played Enid. They didn't have a great first half against Enid. I think they were down 10 points at half. But when they came out, you could tell they were a totally different team. They picked up their tempo. They started going way faster on offense. Their play calling was a little bit different. You could just tell there was a little more urgency, which there would be for anybody down 10 points at halftime. But you could just tell that the urgency definitely picked up. And so we just kind of relied on that as coaches to say, hey, this is far from over. And our kids knew that. I was the first one in, and I already heard kids saying all the right things, that they haven't done anything yet. This game it's not over. Got to stay focused. And so all the kids had the right mindset going into the locker room. And then when we talked to them defensively, we talked about a couple things and made a couple adjustments at halftime, and just said, hey, this is some stuff that they've done. This is some things they could go back to. This is things we haven't seen yet, but it's coming. So there were things that we could talk about and say we haven't seen, so be ready. And then obviously, they're going to come out with a punch. They're going to throw their best punch at you, and they're going to pick their speed up. And I'm sure that they're over there saying a lot of the same things. And it's a new half and all those things. And so, but our kids just went out and right off the bat 3 and out.
Right.
So it's huge. One of our goals on our big goal board each week is to no points on the first drive of both halves.
Right.
So no points in the opener, no points in the second half first drive. We used to put on there no 3 and outs, and that's a really hard goal to get to. And so when we did that, I thought, we would have actually got it this week, because I can't remember what their first series looked like offensively, but I don't remember if they got a first or if they got a first down on that first series or not.
I don't believe they did.
I don't think they did,
Yeah.
but I know in the second half they did not. It was a 3 and out. So I felt really, really good, because a lot of times as a coach you worry about there being any kind of letdown. You come back out and all of a sudden you've lost a little focus, or you're not playing as fast because you're up 21.
Right.
Whatever it is, but there was no sign of that at all. Our kids were way locked in and fired up from the first snap to the very last one.
Okay, so we're going to get a chance to talk to kind of our leading offensive lineman here in just a little bit. But that offensive line, they showed up this week, and very assignment gap sound, and just did a good job. Yeah. So how is that progressing? I mean, here we are getting ready to go week 4, so looks pretty good, I think.
Yeah, well, Coach Madden and Coach Looney and Coach Copeland, they do a great job of grading their guys every week, and so we're able to look at it from week 1, and then hopefully last game, week 14, get to see it all the way through and just see how better their grades get throughout the year. With these first 3 games, I think the first week we probably averaged across the board. I bet our average, we didn't hit that goal.
No.
Another one of our goals is to average 80% across all O-line tight ends. First week we didn't hit it. Last week we hit it, and then this week we hit it again. But you just look at the grades and you can tell that kind of tells you the story of the game for our offensive line. But a game like that, and with their defense and the way it's structured, you're going to take some negative plays.
Sure.
You're going to have some stop at the line of scrimmage. You're going to have some bad things that are going to happen, and then you're going to get some really good things. You're going to get some good rips. But the other night, I felt like we were just very methodical in the way we did it. We never got real high, we never got real low. We just kind of kept turning. And even when we got stopped, I think it was more of ourselves. We got behind the sticks, and against that kind of defense, you just can't get behind the sticks and just let them go tee off and pin their ears back and do that whole deal. And so, but I thought just our offensive line as a whole, just gutsy, very gritty. Kalen Smith, he got hit in the eye. His eye looks like it's swollen up. He's bleeding, and he just keeps going. He never came out. And it was all these guys. It was a dogfight from the very, very, very beginning, and our guys never shied away from it. They just kept turning away and just kept chopping wood. And I think by the end of the game, you could tell that our guys were feeling really good about themselves and really confident. And we've got young guys. Cody never lacks for confidence. He's not worried about that. But some of those young guys, you just kind of wonder what they're thinking going into a game where the biggest level of football they ever played was freshman football.
Right.
And then going into a game like that, what's #1 game in the state and big time opponent and big time atmosphere, and those kids, they never blinked an eye. So I was really proud of their effort.
Okay. The final thing that I think of is we were out there, we fumbled deep in our own end, and the defense just basically said, not today. We're not going to let this happen today. So
yeah. Well, you kind of talked about, Caden said there would be adversity.
Right.
I was in the tent with the defense. We had just gotten a stop, and so I'm in the tent with the defense, and I think we turned it over on first down.
we did.
So we got in there. I think we watched one play, and then it was defense. Coach Herbert's saying defense, and you always know it's something bad when you can hear the crowd on the other side.
Right.
And you're on offense. You know the difference between like a tackle for a loss and a turnover, And so obviously we kind of knew just by the crowd. Then Coach Herbert's yelling for defense, and so they took off out there. But again, you can just tell by the way that they approached the field and the way they attacked it that it was okay. We just bowed our neck, and that's a hard defense to stop anywhere. But when they get inside the 10-yard line and it's kind of gift wrap for them, that was big time. As far as momentum goes, and we had it all, then potentially you lose it,
right?
Something like that. And our kids they bowed their neck and made big plays and made them go backwards.
Right.
It's just very impressive that they were able to do that. We haven't had that situation in a game where it was quick turnaround, inside the 10, got to get a stop. We haven't had that. And so to do that against a really good opponent, that was great. And then later on, obviously, when they get back down there inside the 10, and then we do it again, we make them go backwards again from there, and just assignment football, our kids, they did their jobs. We didn't have, the other night, I think more than anything, our kids are always going to play hard. Like, we never have to worry about that at all. But more than anything, our kids, we didn't bust. We didn't have busted assignments. We didn't have kids that didn't run their blitz. We didn't have kids that, didn't hear the call. We didn't have any of that. And in an atmosphere like that, that's really big. And so when we do have some veterans on that group, but those young guys up front, they're growing up, and they're getting better every week and more detailed, more attention to that stuff, and more focused. And I just think all around, just the whole defense, everybody, when you can hold a team like that offensively to under 100 yards.
Right.
I mean, I think they had 93 total yards, but, even more importantly, they've got a big-time receiver out there, and Tristan was on him a lot, and I think he had 2 catches for 4 yards.
Right.
And he's a big-time guy, just like our guys. He's going to be highly recruited and all that stuff, and to hold him down like that, I think they had 40 yards passing. Obviously, your defense, your secondary did a great job,
Right.
and there's a couple times where we had to have guys go in and they tried to throw a fade up on Oku, and he ran right with him and knocked the ball down.
Perfect position.
Dukes all night long ran right with them. The one catch they had, that was their probably their best play all night. He's in good position. He kind of loses touch. He gets out of phase at the very end, but kid made a great throw.
It was.
Only place it could have been caught was right there on the sideline, and only his guy was going to catch that ball. And so it was just that every once in a while when you're in man coverage like that, those plays are going to happen.
Yeah.
And you just snap your helmet, go back to work. As DBs, they got to have a short memory, and our kids do a great job of that. And so it was just impressive all around. We played 3 or 4 different safeties. Trinae played great. And he didn't have a full week of practice. And Jackson Webster, another young guy, stepped up. Daniel Newton played some safety for us, and he wasn't feeling great. So it was very impressive. And then some of our personnel packages that we put together, I think, really helped us. Coach Herbert and our defensive staff, they do a great job of putting those plans together and putting our kids in a place to be successful. So it was fun to watch.
Yeah. Okay, so who are your standouts for the week?
Yeah, let's talk about some players
Yeah.
of the week. So offensively, we went with the offensive line, and it could have been the whole offense. It could have been a number of guys. I thought Devin Woodring played a well of a game. He
did.
Protecting the ball like he did, that was a big deal. You don't want to give them the ball back, and the way they play their defense, they get takeaways. They've got lots of eyes on the quarterback. It's all based on the quarterback, and so for him to protect the ball and do what he did there, that was big. And he ended up 12 of 15 passing. So that's a big night. Throwing for 150 yards against those guys,
Right.
It's hard to do. And so he had a big night. Obviously, that happens when you got receivers that are catching the ball in trash. And as good as anything that we did, our receivers blocked. Like when they're rolling guys down, it's not like other defenses where he's right here. Go block him. It's,
Right.
Hey, we don't know who's going to be down there. Here's where they end up. You're going to have to go sort it out after the snap. And our guys did a great job of that. I think picking that stuff up early is really what kind of sprung us. But we went with the offensive line just because we felt like, that the goal of that defense, we've heard them talk before, is to make those 5 guys the worst experience of their life as a football player, the worst night of their life. And, I think our guys handled it great, And so O-line is what we went with there. Defensively, again, same thing. I just said it. When your secondary holds them to 43 yards passing and they've got a really good quarterback and a good wide receiver group, that's big time too.
Right.
And I think one of their biggest catches was from the running back, and so our guys did a great job. Could have been our number of our secondary guys, all 3 linebackers, Carl Vion, Caden Davis, Jackson Vineyard, all 3 of them played great. And then up front, it was a wall all night long. And so it could have been a number of guys. Jackson Vineyard ended up having 12 tackles. He led us in tackles. Had a couple of really big hits. I think he had a forced turnover there. I can't remember, but Jackson Vineyard had an unbelievable game. Really proud of the way he has stepped up. He has filled in for Marcus James, and we haven't skipped a beat. He's been really
Right.
good. Special teams, we had 3 guys. It could be Spiewak every week, and we're going to get to hear from Spiewak in a little bit. It could be him every week. He's as consistent as we have on our football team. But this week we went with Trinae Washington, 4 punts, and he averaged 51.5 yards a punt. That's like NFL style.
Right.
He could be a Division I punter very easily. Way good. Carl Vion Young, big their fake punt there. That was a big momentum change. 4th and 2. middle of the field. They hadn't shown that. We hadn't seen that this year, but in the past, they've done that. Coach Looney and I were looking at all their old fake punts and all their stuff from when we coached against them. We were at Del City, and we had seen them throw that out of their ninja look. We'd seen them throw that before. We'd seen them throw the fade. We'd seen them throw the little pipe with their personal protector. And so we had kind of looked at all of it. And so our guys were prepared. If you look at that, our safeties are back, but then as soon as they recognize it, they're up, and everybody else is lined up. And so it was great. But Cravion, big hit on that, and then Caden Davis blocked the punt. Block punt, get a safety there, another big momentum changer in its own right. So, and then on our lineman of the week, we went with our entire defensive line, kind of going in the same direction as our offensive line. A bunch of young guys that are growing up before our eyes, and they played unbelievable. Big hit, Jackson Vineyard had a big hit on number 14. I think that might have been when he knocked the ball loose. I can't remember, but big hit right there. And then our scout player of the week, we went with our whole defense. Our scout defense, Monday and Tuesday, I think that was a lot of our problem. Our offensively, just trying to figure that stuff out.
Right.
And then our kids did a great job. We worked with them for about 10 minutes with the group that we picked to be our 11 scout guys. We worked with them for about 10 to 15 minutes. Just said, hey, just do everything fast, do everything hard,
Right.
everything else can take care of itself. And we talked with the DBs for maybe 15 minutes before we went over and did it for the first time live. And they gave us a pretty good look. I mean, all in all, that look, I think, is what really got us prepared. Obviously, they're not as fast in all areas, they're not as big in all areas, but our kids gave us the correct look, as good as you can in that stuff. And I think it had us prepared to go. And so we always try to do a good job of making sure those guys know that they're as important as anything else to the process. And the entire scout defense did a great job for us.
That chaos defense is crazy to watch.
Yeah.
And as a lineman, you just got to imagine. I don't know where they're coming from. I just know I have to do my job.
Right. Create the wall.
That's
we
right.
talked all week long about just it's not really it's not anything. It's not a man.
No.
It's creating a wall, stepping with the correct foot, stepping down, or getting shoulder to shoulder, and just trying to get a push. But and people think that it's just kind of willy nilly. It's a guessing game.
Yeah.
What they do, it's not.
No, it's
everything
not.
everything they do has rhyme and reason, technique, purpose. Clarence Hawley is as good of a defensive coach as there is in Oklahoma, and he brought that to Stillwater. He's not there anymore, but they've kept it, and I've got lots of respect for what they do. As a defensive guy, it's fun to watch.
Sure.
On the other side of it. So.
Okay, so basically one season's done, and so we head into district play this week.
Yep.
And this is you turn everything up. Every game has a purpose. Every game has an important position to get yourself into the playoffs. And so as we start out, we're going to go across town to Western Heights. So Western Heights is a little improved over what they have been. I don't think anybody would say any different, but they're still in a rebuilding mode. They have a new coach, and they are starting out. So give us an idea of what we may be seeing this week.
Right. Well, lots of respect for those guys, for those coaches. I've always been a firm believer of every high school kid should be able to have the same experience, whether they win or lose more or whatever. They should have good coaches.
Right.
And I think Coach Burdine and the guys that he's put around himself are trying to do exactly that. They've got about 37 kids out, and they've got kids that are banged up. Years past, they would have just quit. They would have said, we're not playing. They would have already called. They would have already canceled the game. He's not doing that, and I have a ton of respect for what he's trying to do, and I think the best thing is, as high school coaches, the reason I'm a high school coach is because I had coaches that gave me a great experience, and he's trying to do the same thing for his guys. And those kids, like you watch them on film, they're trying to do things right. They're playing hard. They've won a game this year, and it started last year. J.D. Runnels was there, former Carl Albert guy, and J.D. kind of started that process and got it going, and now Coach Burdine is trying to get it to continue rolling with it. And we've talked a lot this week about working on us too. We got to go back and do some fundamental stuff that we haven't done over the last couple of weeks because we've been so busy in game planning and putting in schemes and doing those things. And we've got to go back and look at some things that we know are stuff that is tough against our defense, or it's stuff that offensively we know we might see down the road that we want to prepare for, and so it's allowed some of that. But we've talked a lot about, this week you treat it with respect,
Absolutely.
and it's respect for the game and respect for a group over there that's trying to do the right things, and they're trying to go play hard. They're trying to give those kids a great experience. And so, the way we prepare and the way that we approach it says a lot about us, that it's never about anybody else. It's always going to be about the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who we're playing.
Right.
As long as we're getting better every single week and we're really focused on that, we're going to feel good about what we got going on. And so this week is no different. I mean, it's one of those things where you go prepare, you get ready for a football game, you get better each day, and and it's allowed us to get our legs back a little bit too. Last week was a grinder. It was tough, and this week we've cut back a little bit. We've added a little bit more in there, just some things we haven't got to work. We've worked some situational stuff, so it's been a really good week so far. We got one more big one today, and then we'll do our run through tomorrow and be ready to go on Friday.
Okay, so we had a warm day yesterday, but we woke up this morning, temperature's a little bit lower. It's got that little bit more football feeling in the air.
Right.
And so it's got to be this will be a little bit of a recovery week
Right.
for the team and getting ready to go. So
Yeah, it was fun the other night. So Monday night, I can't not mention this, but so Monday we played freshman JV
Right.
Stillwater, which that's another, picking this game up and having Stillwater on the schedule is beautiful because I know they're going to have a freshman and JV team.
Mm-hmm.
We play a lot of teams that won't play freshman and JV. They combine or whatever else. We want our freshmen to play. We want our JV to play. We want all our guys to get reps. We want to develop our program. Those guys put in as much work as our older guys, as our seniors and our varsity guys. They put just as much work in, and they do all the same things. They do all the same lifts. They prepare just like everybody else, and they deserve to play.
Right.
And so Monday, Stillwater brings their freshmen and JV here, and again, they're always good. Sub-varsity, they're always good. Their little league teams are always good. So it's always fun when you get to do sub-varsity stuff with them. But you could feel that in the air. It was cooler. It was about
Right.
62 degrees, and it felt like football weather. And our freshmen, we ended up getting beat. They're freshmen, really, really good group, and we've got a couple guys out and just didn't play as good as we can. But our JV went out. We beat them 25-14. I think they were undefeated. I think they had beat Tulsa Union's JV, and they're a good squad too. Really good group of guys. And you could tell though it really did. I talked to their head coach, Coach Kaywood, after the game, and it felt like a big time, varsity football type atmosphere game. Just on the field. Their kids were prepared and they were hitting. I mean, it was physical, and there was another guy there, a coach, an outside coach, and he said, I've been to a lot of football games across Oklahoma in the last 4 or 5 years, and he said, this is better than 50% of the Friday night football games that I've been to.
Yeah.
And it's a Monday night JV
game.
So,
yeah.
two good quarterbacks, really good skill players on both sides, and two defensives that are getting after it. But I was proud of our guys for going out and winning that game and having a good night and getting to have that experience. But it was football weather, 100%.
That's right. So we're headed into district play. Anything else you have to share before we take a break here?
Just got to keep rolling. Glad we got some guys here that some new guys that get to meet and get to see and hear their thoughts. It's always fun for me to be able to sit back and just listen to them and what they think and how they feel about the week and how they feel about the previous and all those things. So it's fun. But now it's got to keep rolling, keep continuing to improve, keep working on us, and good things will happen.
All right. We'll be back with you here in just a moment on your Carl Albert Titan 2024 Coaches Show.
Yeah. Whoa, hold on. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Woo. Walk it like I talk it. You. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Woo. Walk it like I talk it. Hey. Walk it like I talk it. 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 Woo. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Hey. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. You. Take my shoes and walk a mile, something that you can't do. Hey. Big talks of the town, big boy gang moves. I like to walk around with my chain loose. She just bought a new, but got the same booze. Whipping up dope scientists. That's my sauce where you find it. That's my sauce. Look it up, find it. Adding up checks, no minus. Add it up, yeah. Get your respect in diamonds. Ice. I bought a plain Jane roller, did bought they fame. I think my back got scoliosis, cause I swerved the lane. Heard you signed your life for that brand new chain. I heard. Think it came with stripes, but you ain't straight with the gang. Walk it like I talk it. 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 Let's go. Walk it like I talk it. 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 Hey. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it.
Hey, I gotta stay in my zone. Say that we been beefing, dog, but you on your own. First night, she gon' let me cause we grown. I hit her, gave her back to the city, she home. That was bad, so I can't be beefing with no rag. Got no bad bone. Heard you living in a mansion and all your rats though. Just really like a child on this Google Maps though. We been brothers since Versace Bando. Whoa, name ringing like Amigo trap phone. Whoa. Used to be with Vashti and Santos. That's on Tommy Campos. We live like Sopranos. And I
walk it like I talk it. 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 Let's go. Walk it like I talk it. 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 Hey. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it.
all set. Rock it, watch it. I want that bitch got menage. I bought a franchise to double up the profit. We make a landslide, chopper get the poppin'. Elliot got me rockin'. Plug socket, chicken teriyaki. Take off rocket, keep them in pocket. Water gon' lock it, quadruple the profit. I walk like I walk, talk like I talk. What's in my box, load of cash in the sauce. I put a lab in my loft. She cook up and jack with the folk. By the pair, I got carrots that choke. By the pair, I got carrots each load. Private life, private just round the globe. Hit a lick with the choke.
Walk it like I talk it. 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 Let's go. Walk it like I talk it. 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 Hey. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it.
That's a buck, no milk walking. Walk it like I talk it. That's my bro, he know the lingo. Ain't no pocket talking. This some you know, I don't we know. Hold out on that coffin, smoke the cookie, get the coffin. Drop that fresh, I need a coffin. Callin' something we do often. Take the pot, I'm not playing no dolphins. Then now they go buy me a faucet. Walk it like I talk it, then bought it. I paid a coat, so I gotta call it. I've been the shit, so just down me. Walk in the beard, and that's all the problem. Get down, they talking about spouting.
Walk it like I talk it. 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 Hey. Walk it like I talk it. 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 Hey. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it.
Come on. Hey, Coach Cam said it at halftime best. That is complimentary football. That's how championships are won right there, okay? That is a great.
Welcome back to the Carl Albert Titan 2024 Coaches Show. Today we have Ethan Spiewak, and he is the kicker for the Carl Albert Titans. And we also have Cody Volker, starting center for the Carl Albert Titans. And we're going to talk with them and get their ideas on the past game and what they've done to get prepared for district play. So, Ethan, I'll start with you. And I know I've been kind of following you a little bit. You've been spending all summer long working on getting ready for this year. Can you tell us about what you did this summer?
Yeah, of course. This summer was just really crazy. I was gone almost every weekend, different camps, always training. Even when I was spending time with family up in Missouri, I traveled a few hours out of my way to go train with a NFL kicker, Austin Cyber. He's with the Commanders right now. Mm-hmm. So all summer I was just anywhere I could get work in. I was going to every camp I could, stuff like that. And when I was back home, going to PC. So it was just really busy. It was a lot of fun though. It was very fun.
Okay, so you've kicked in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Now, do I get this right? That you went from a 3-star up to a 4-star this summer, is that correct?
I went up to a 4.5 star.
4.5-star, pardon me, I apologize. Okay, well, I missed out on the half-star there, so. So there's a couple of things I want to ask you about in regard to kicking, and one of them we're going to step back into that Lawton night game because we are used to seeing you do a full run to the ball, and I'm sure there's great kick terminology for that. I just don't know it, and putting it down for the touchback. But and we know what it looks like when you're going to step up. You've got 2 steps. We're going to do it deep onside, and we're going to get down there quick and that kind of thing. But in the Lawton night game, you stepped up, looked like a deep onside. You twisted your hips and sent it all the way to the end zone. So that's something you have to have worked a lot on.
Yeah, definitely. That I was just begging Coach Farley to let me do it, and they finally shifted over, and I looked back at the sideline, and he gave me the head nod that I could do it, and I let it rip.
Let it rip.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting to see that go.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it back on film, and it looked a lot better on film too. I was very impressed with myself on that.
Okay, well that's one of those things that if you have that kind of talent, you can really catch a football team off guard because they know what's coming when you're just 2 steps up to the ball. So
yeah, we practiced all that stuff a lot, like everything. We do it all the time. And it's just a lot of fun. It's definitely nice to have up your sleeve at all times. So.
Okay, give us a little bit of insight about your relationship with Coach Farley.
Oh yeah, Coach Farley he's my favorite. I mean, he's a great coach. He just really knows ball, and he listens to you, and he just knows what he's doing really well. He's a really good players coach. He's really friendly, and so he gets on you when you're doing something wrong.
Okay, I was afraid you were going to let it go. He was really friendly all the time. Yeah. Okay. So he can get in your face when he.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I've had to do a lot of push-ups for missed kicks in practice all the time.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate everything you do. Followed you also when you play soccer in the spring, and so we're excited to see you continue to be successful this year, and we're excited to see where you end up playing ball, and I'm sure you are too.
Oh,
so,
yeah, for sure.
Any offers that you have at this point?
I have a UCO.
Okay.
Currently.
All right. We've got some good Carl Albert Titans that have played up there and had great careers up there. Okay, so Cody, I'm a grandfather. You probably didn't know that, and but I think you're kind of like the grandfather on the offensive line this year. You're the senior in the middle, and you've been raising up these guys around you. Tell us a little bit about what that's like.
Well, they had to do it for me last year. Tanner, Trayton, Easton, both Eastons had to do it for me last year. So I get to do what they did for me, and I like it. It's fun. I like getting to teach these little guys, but they're teaching me some things too. They keep me on my toes, and they help me when I need help too.
Okay, so I love the fact that you go back to last year, and it really is. It's kind of a Titan tradition to be able to just keep passing things down. And so when people are asking, why is Carl Albert always good? Well, it comes in steps.
Oh, yeah.
And okay, so do you like to eat pancakes?
Oh yeah, all the time.
I kind of thought you did because you kind of like laying them out there during the week and especially on Friday night. So tell us about that. Tell us about what it must feel like. You might even want to share what a pancake is. We don't have a lot of people that maybe even know what a pancake is. So,
Well, a pancake's when you drive somebody and you finish the block and put them on their back. And Coach Madden and Coach Looney, that's what they always teach us to do, is to finish blocks. And you don't stop before the whistle's blown. You stop when you hear the echo of the whistle, and you just keep going until they pull you off of them.
okay. And so you've got how many this year so far?
I think I'm at 13, 14.
I'm going to say 13. I went and looked at the board. I was going to check, see if you were being honest. But yeah, 13 pancakes on the year, and you're going to keep adding them up. Isn't that right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Trying to get up there.
Okay. So as you continue to improve with this offensive line, I've heard it said, I played offensive line, and so I had a head coach that told us, the plane never gets off the ground without the wings. And so as the wings spread out and the air comes under, all those guys in the back that are getting all the publicity, they get all the highlights and all that kind of stuff. Those guys don't do it without you, do they?
Oh yeah. Well, they do their own thing, but we just got to hold down the fort and give them a little bit of time so they can do it.
Okay. So it's not your job to go all the way to the end zone with them, is it?
Oh no, we got to get down there too. Just make sure.
Okay. All right. Well, so a lot of people don't understand too that just like you said, and you're bringing up everything I wanted to talk about. You don't have to hold forever. You just have to hold, and then you move on. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
You're headed to the second line.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so one of the things that makes it good for those guys in the back is to know that they've got horses in front.
Oh yeah.
And so a few of your pancakes have been at the second level.
Mm-hmm.
So can you recall any of those from this past week?
I do know a few. There was ones that inside zone we double up with either one of my guards, so usually my backside guard, and how it works out most of the time is that they overtake me and I get up to that second level and I get up to that second level linebacker to whichever one shows first and just take them where they want to go. Usually it's on their back.
Okay, well that's the plan, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's good to hear that, and just like you said, with you raising up those other linemen, and then you being able to get off and continue up, you know where you're headed, you know what you're looking for. So,
Yes.
All right, they're continuing to grow, they're continuing to get stronger each and every week, and are you looking forward to heading into district play?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. So with district play, you know that playoffs are gonna be up there, but we don't look past any team. Isn't that right?
No, sir.
We don't look past any team, right? Okay. So Western Heights is our opponent. We know what their football program looks like. I guess what I'm really asking both of you is, do you still pack your bags the same way? Do you still get everything ready? Do you still do what we have to do to go win a game come Friday night?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So it's just another business trip for us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you all being here today. Ethan, look forward to seeing the next kick always, and look forward to hearing how your progression goes as far as where you may want to end up playing. And Cody, you've got some people lined up down the line as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what have you got coming?
ECU.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, and maybe some others in the future.
Yes, sir. That's what I want.
Okay. I know you're getting a lot of press. Both of you are right now. So, looking forward to seeing those offers continue to line up. And we look forward to Carl Albert Titan football each and every Friday night. So, we're going to be back with you here in just a minute. And we'll finish up here with Coach Dunn. Want to remind you, Carl Albert Titan football kicks off at 7 p.m. at Western Heights this Friday evening, and we hope that you'll be there and support your Titans. We'll be back with you in just a few moments on your Carl Albert Titan 2024 Coaches Show.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know him, but no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Tox picking it up. Let's go.
Who the hell is he anyway? He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still leaving him starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him cause he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself, now the picture connects. Never asking for someone's help or to get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote. His will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds. The skill of an artist. This is 20% skill, 80% fear, be 100% clear, cause Ryu was ill. Who would've thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man. Ryu had the stupidest verse. Let's do this the truth.
My homecoming.
We're back with you here on your Carl Albert Titan 2024 Coaches Show. This year we're pursuing number 19, and we're continuing to push for that effort. And so, Coach Dunn, you heard the guys, and just great interviews by both those young men. And tell us what you think about kind of what you heard there.
Yeah, well, you know, we got lots of guys that we can be proud of on our football team. You know, we tell them all the time, if you know, it takes a lot to be a Carl Albert Titan, and especially you make it all the way through to your senior year. You know, it's you've put in a lot of work, and you've earned those stripes, and you've earned that CA on your helmet, or Titans, I guess, this year. But you know, there's a lot you have to do, and our guys have to be character guys. They have to do things right in the building. They've got to do things right with their grades. You know, it's one of those things where everyone knows, like, what they see on the field. They see that product. They don't get to see what leads to that product. You know, they don't get to see some of the stuff that we get to see day in, day out from our guys. And we're always proud of them. We're proud of the way they carry themselves in the community, the way that they carry themselves in the building. And those two guys are no different. You know, and I always like listening to them when they talk about their coaches, you know, and talking about Coach Farley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not a better, and he's 100% correct, that there is not a better, I've been on a lot of staffs, and I have not been around a better special teams guy. A lot of coaches, like with kickers, it's just go kick the ball.
Right.
Coach Farley is not that way. He can talk to him about technique. It's funny because we've had guys come here that'll train, and they work with him and work with Ethan. And when they get around, Coach Farley always wants to be around and just hear them and hear what they say and hear some of their techniques. And when they get to talking ball, they're always shocked because they were kickers only. One of them kicked for TCU. He's a big-time kicker from Arlington, Texas. He's from TCU, here kicked at TCU, big-time guy. He got to talking with Coach Farley a couple summers ago, and he was like, I've never had a coach like that while I was in high school. You know? High school coaches don't care like that. A lot of times it's some, you know, defensive back coach, or it's a wide receiver coach, or it's a coach that, you know, that just gets thrown into it. Coach Farley coaches our safeties, our corners, but he also takes his special team job very, very serious. And there's not a better one out there. Coach Looney, Coach Starr help him out with that. And I feel like every week we always have an advantage in special teams. It was no different last week where our special teams played. And so it's fun to hear that. And then, you know, Cody talking about what they expect, you know, and how, like, some of those little sayings that he said, like, finish through the echo, you know. And we're talking about pancakes. It's when your kids start saying the same things that your coaches say, you know you got something going in the right direction. And so just listening to them talk about their coaches and knowing that they've got really good guys that they get to work with every single day. And, you know, as a coach, just makes you feel good because you know your kids appreciate your guys and appreciate what they're doing for them and the things that they're trying to teach them. And, you know, all those things go into life. You know, that's all football is. It's just kind of the answers to the test before you get there, because it's all going to get harder. We tell them all the time. Nobody believes us until they get there. But we tell them all the time that it definitely gets harder when you get more responsibilities. But these guys are going to be prepared for that, you know. And so it's always fun listening to them talk and just getting their thoughts. And, you know, it's funny, but our guys always feel like they've got the right answers, you know. And we don't do media training or publicity training. We don't do that stuff, you know. But our guys, they're smart kids. They're character guys, you know, and all around just really good human beings. And so it's fun for me as a coach and for our coaching staff that we get to be around really good kids every day.
The coaches coach with passion, and the players play with passion.
No doubt.
And so it's joy to watch. All right, we're getting ready to, as I've said several times now, head into district play. With the realignment of the district, our district is not what it has been.
Right.
And so continuing to be professional and just do the work and keep taking one game at a time and one foot in front of the other. I'm sure that the coaches are going to continue to be passionate throughout these next 3 to 4 weeks and be prepared for whatever's in front of us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And we know, like, there's teams on on our schedule right now that just 4 or 5 years ago were playing for state semifinals,
Right.
playing in state championship games, and we've just got a couple of those bigger names that are a little bit down, or not down, but they've got new coaches, and so they're kind of rebuilding right now. So it's a matter of time. When are they going to figure it out?
Right.
It's not if. We've got lots of really good coaching that's in our district. Like Noble right now. Noble's 0-3, but Noble has played big time football teams. They played
Right.
3 teams that are all going to play for a 4A state championship,
Mhm.
and those top 4A teams can play in 5A, no
Right.
problem. Tuttle, Bethany, Blanchard, all those teams.
Right.
They're all really good teams. Guthrie has lost 2 games to Blanchard and to Tuttle. Those 2 teams right now are in the top 3 for sure, or top 4 for sure. And so it's one of those things with the coaching staffs that are out there. They're going to figure it out,
Sure.
and they're going to get going. And it's a matter of when. Coach George at Noble does an unbelievable job. Coach Beebe knows that we got tons of respect for him and his guys. And Lawton's always been a program that's one of the best in the state. Just historically. And they got a new coach, Lorenzo Williams, Mill City guy, that's going to do really good things there. And just so it's going to take them a little bit of time because all those teams are young and new coaching staff there in Lawton, but it's just a matter of time. And so we're going to keep preparing because our goal has never been. We don't talk about winning district championships. We talk about making sure we get to the playoffs where we can go make a run at what our ultimate goal is, and if we stay in the driver's seat, that's a good thing, because to get to that ultimate goal,
Right.
if you can host playoff games,
Or stay home.
that's big time.
Stay home as long as you can.
But we don't talk about undefeated. We don't talk about, one of the questions they asked me the other night after the game, they said something about the streak. I didn't even know what they were talking about. And they were talking about our win streak, and they said, "Do you know what it's at?" And I said, "No." And he said it, and I think he was right, because somebody knew, but he said it, what he thought it was, and then he said something about, your defense, and he started talking about defense and had 3 shutouts. I said, that's way more important to me. That's way more impressive to me
Yes.
than the win streak or whatever. It's like that. It's not something we talk about around here. But,
Right.
But again, it's all about us trying to give our kids the best experience. We feel like the way you give your entire roster the best experience is to go try to win a state championship and try to make these guys, make them into men that everybody can be proud of one day, and guys that can go out and lead families and be great husbands, great